Genuine, where we connect you with the top quality vendors in your region. And today I'm with Dave Tebbutt, the amazing videographer. Dave, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me on.
So Dave, what inspired you to get into wedding videography?
That's a good question. It goes way back for me. I shot my first wedding in high school, actually. I don't think there was ever a concrete moment of like, I want to be a wedding videographer, but I've been making videos since I was 10, probably making videos 20 plus years. And I had friends of mine that kind of just asked me, hey, would you be open to filming our wedding? They knew I made videos. And the first one I ever did, I had a blast, and kind of just snowballed from there. And this was like pre-Facebook, pre-Instagram eras. And it's just, yeah, I just loved the whole day, the whole process. Everyone's having fun. Everyone looks their best. It's a fun event to be at, and been doing it 16 years now. And yeah, it's all I've really ever done, or all I've known.
Oh, 16 years.
Yeah.
Now, how would you describe your style of videography?
Yeah, I would definitely describe my style as candid and documentary style. I rarely pose my clients unless there's a specific request. I try not to interfere with things like the first look or speeches or ceremony, of course. I just like to let the day happen and capture it as cinematically as I can and piece everything together. But I find it comes across more natural when people are just themselves. So that's kind of my style.
So Dave, what sets you apart from other videographers?
Probably my turnaround time.
What is your turnaround time?
I don't mean to toot my own horn, but this is what and I've told this to other videographers. I think the biggest thing in this industry now is when couples are going to see their wedding video, when couples are going to see their wedding photos. And I've always done my best to deliver the product within a week. For me, it's a big high when I hear from the couple and they're on their honeymoon and they send me a photo and they're somewhere south watching my wedding video on their hotel room TV. That's always kind of a goal of mine. And I know it's hard for people to achieve that, but I try to do that every single wedding.
Okay, and what unique experiences or skills do you bring to wedding videography?
What unique skills do I bring? I guess I just think experience. Like I said, I've been making videos for over 20 years. I've been editing for more than that. I've done same day edits. I've done little teasers during dinner, and then I'll airdrop them to my clients like before I leave the wedding. I just want to give them the best possible experience. As we all know, weddings are expensive and everything can add up pretty quickly. So for me, what I can do is just give them the best experience that they can have working with me. And so hopefully they tell their friends and family that they had a good experience working with me. So I think that's kind of what I can offer. I think you've seen me. We've done weddings together. You've seen me. I get on the dance floor with my camera and I get right in there, man. Like by the end of the day, I'm basically one of the guests.
Oh yeah, yeah, I've been there. It was always a good time with you, Dave.
Thanks, man.
So Dave, you don't have a website yet. You're one of the most popular videographers I know. How do you do it?
Well, people ask me that a lot and they're kind of confused by it. I would say if I were to start my business now with the same business model, I don't think it would work, but I think because I've been doing this for 15 years, Niagara region's a bit of a bubble. I think I've got the upper hand that I've been around longer than most other videographers. So I've always just been able to get business through referrals. And more often than not, when you go to a wedding, it's either there's a guest there that might be getting engaged or one of the bridesmaids is getting engaged. So I would say more often than not, I'm getting another referral from each wedding I go to, and it just sort of snowballs from there. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend not having a website, but I think nowadays people really go to Instagram and YouTube a lot more than people's personal websites as well. So I do use social media, but yeah, there's no other website than that. So kind of strange, I know.
So just YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook?
That's it, yeah. Well, and I was lucky. I had a few years ago, I had some videos. I would make montages throughout the year of some of my favorite wedding moments or wedding fails or emotional groom montages. And Some of them did pretty well on YouTube, so that's also a way that I kind of generated some business. But yeah, I think there's so much power behind even Instagram Reels. Like I said, I do my best to send a couple like a 45-second video of their day. They can share it that night or the next morning. It really does a lot of work in the business side of things doing it that way.
Wow. Share with me like a very memorable moment of a wedding that you filmed.
They had hired this, I forget what he was. He was like this robot thing. He was this big LED robot with
Oh yeah.
had like a fog machine attached to him, and he just like brought the party. And then they came in with like trays of Fireball. It was just like a crazy cool party moment, and I got some really good footage of that. That was memorable. This past July, I filmed my 600th wedding, so that was a memorable wedding. I stayed late. I knew the couple, and we had a good time. But yeah, I guess nothing too crazy. I've seen some fun wedding fails, I guess. Seen a cake fall over in the wind. Yeah, but I'd say for the most part, they're all pretty similar.
Okay. So you've done over 600 weddings. So what's your process when you're about to film a wedding?
The day of a wedding, I basically I'll start my day around 9 or 10 a.m. I'll go either to the girl's house, the bride and bridesmaids, or go see the groom and groomsmen. But the night before, I'll make sure everything's charged, bags are at the door. I've been doing this alone for that long, so I have a really good system, got enough batteries for the day, enough cards for the day. And working alone can be tricky sometimes because I have to sometimes be in two places at the same time, which is impossible. So oftentimes I kind of have to shimmy the schedule around in the morning if I have to go see the guys before the girls. But for the most part, I'm confident shooting a ceremony by myself. I capture all the speeches. I bring my drone to every wedding. Hopefully I'm allowed to fly it, weather permitting. And I give my clients all the raw footage, so everything that I shoot on that day, they receive. And then, of course, kind of make a fun highlight reel of the day. And yeah, it's basically a 10, 12-hour day and probably about a 10, 12-hour edit. So it's been fun over the years learning the process. And that's, I think, how I'm able to be so efficient, because I really know kind of exactly what I need to do from start to finish.
So Dave, you bring a drone to every wedding?
Yes.
What other kind of equipment do you bring?
Yeah, so I bring 3 cameras to weddings because sometimes it's nice to have 2 angles, and then it's nice to have a backup camera too. I think it'd be kind of foolish to bring 1 camera to a wedding. You know, someone bumps into it or it breaks, then what am I filming the rest of the wedding on my iPhone? So always come prepared with 3 cameras, lots of cards, lots of batteries, a drone, a camera gimbal for stabilization, and then I bring all my own audio equipment so that I can capture all the speeches and any vows or any readings, and they can be pretty clear using lapel mics or plugging into sound systems like yours when we do weddings together.
How do you capture the key moments at like wedding ceremonies and all the small details?
Yeah, so I have a zoom lens that I use for ceremonies because I don't like to be that vendor that has to stand right in front of mom and dad while they're doing a ring exchange or a vow exchange. So sometimes I'll crouch down. Of course, I want to capture the ceremony as best I can, but I'm always mindful of guests and their experience. I never like to just blatantly just stand in front of someone. If I have to get a quick shot, maybe I'll move in front of someone and then step out of the way. But I think I prefer doing outdoor ceremonies the most because then it's sort of free range. I'm not kind of confined to, some churches just have like the middle aisle, right? So then sort of have to get most of my footage standing in the middle aisle. But yeah, I'd say for the most part, never had an issue with ceremony coverage. I'll set another camera up at the back on a tripod, and then I'll just roam around with my gimbal.
How do you handle different lighting conditions?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I mean, the cameras I'm using are really good in low light. They're kind of meant for like low light receptions. I do bring video lights to weddings, but I find I only really use them in sort of a last resort scenario. I like to use natural light as best I can, and If my clients really want a nice dim candlelit dinner, I don't like to be the guy that just sets up all these lights on the head table or on the speaker, because then I find sometimes that can take away from the vibe. But yeah, I'd say I do bring lighting, but I don't use it every single wedding. Maybe here and there, but yeah, natural light is kind of the way to go, I think.
Now, how do you tell a couple's story through your wedding videos?
For sure, yeah, that's a great question. I find in my videos I use a lot of sound bites. I still like to use a lot of music, and the whole video isn't talking, but I find you get to know them quickly through their personalized vows, and I like using little sound bites from speeches, um, whether the best man or maid of honor, sharing a fun story from a few years back. It's nice to sort of have a bit of humor in the video and a bit of romance, and so it's nice using sound bites to kind of tell their story, to kind of separate from each couple.
Okay, so this is something I was really impressed with that you do, but how do you find music for your wedding videos?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, there's a few websites nowadays. I've used the Music Bed. I think there's Artlist, but yeah, I try to find stuff that can be purchased online or copyright free. There's been a few times in the past I've actually written my own music for wedding videos, especially for some of the montages that I put on YouTube, so that I can have full 100% copyright ownership of the video. But yeah, there's a variety of websites now where I can kind of find music from. I'll send my clients sort of a list of different genres, and kind of we just come to agree on a certain artist or a certain style, and then piece it all together.
So how do you deliver the final product to couples? Like, is it just a YouTube link, or how do they get that?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I think in the past I was delivering my work on like DVDs, and that's not really a thing anymore. And then I was doing USB sticks, and I feel like now we're just sort of in this digital era. So I've been using Google Drive. I know there's a variety of platforms out there, but I'm just a big Google and YouTube fan. So I'll basically create them their own private link, and I'll put like the raw footage on there, all the speeches, the wedding video, and they can download it to their computer. I keep it on the drive as long as they need. You can download it to your phone. You can send it to your friends. And I've been doing that for a couple of years now, and seems to be working okay.
Do you also offer like vertical and horizontal videos as
I
well?
do, yes. I've been kind of in the last year offering 60-second Instagram vertical reels. But it's fascinating from a video standpoint because I'm so used to shooting 16 by 9 like the way a TV is, right? But when you do vertical videos, it really crops the shot, so you kind of have to shoot differently. So there's a few times where I'll shoot the same thing twice. I'll do it for the wide video, and then I'll do it for the vertical video. But yeah, I definitely do offer 60-second vertical videos. I don't know if we're at the point yet where I'll do full wedding videos vertical, but maybe we're heading there.
Okay. And do you have different packages you offer your couples, or is it everything custom done?
I used to have a few packages. I find now I pretty much just have one package, and it includes as much as I can really offer. Because that's the one criticism I've heard from other people about videographers, is that they'll have their package, but then, oh, to fly the drone is another $500. Oh, the raw footage is another $500. Full ceremony kits. So then this package that was once this price now is $1,000 more just with add-ons. So I like to make it as easy and simple for my clients as possible. It's one price, and you get everything. You get all the raw footage, drone coverage, speeches, wedding video, and keep it easy for them. Don't make it complicated, and they're more likely to want to work with you, in my opinion. So
how do you coordinate with photographers and other wedding vendors?
yeah, it's probably one of the funnest parts about my job, really, getting to work with photographers. There's a lot of them now, especially in the Niagara region. I would say at this point it's rare that I haven't worked with someone, but every now and then there's a new photographer. So I'll either check their work out online and see what their style is like. But I think video is nice in a way where I take sort of a backseat approach. I don't necessarily have to do too much directing on the wedding day. photographers are more after sort of the pose look and directing family photos and whatnot. So I've never clashed with a photographer. Sometimes we have different styles, so I'll let them get their shot and then they'll let me get my shot. But yeah, it's been fun. A lot of photographers now are friends of mine, and we get together outside of weddings. So it's a nice little community we have here, I think, with photo and video.
And how do you make couples feel more comfortable when they're in front of the camera?
I think just I don't know. Maybe just cracking jokes and I don't know, getting to know them a little bit before. I like to set up a meeting with my clients before the wedding day. That way, we don't have to meet at their wedding. But I don't know. I think I'm a personable guy and try to not just stick a camera right in their face. Try to get different angles and whatnot. But at the end of the day, like, who really likes being on camera, right? So I think a cool part about my job is trying to find those angles where people don't even really realize they're being filmed, right? And that's when you can get the authentic laughs and the authentic moments. So, yeah.
What feedback have you received from couples that it's really memorable for you?
I would say, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I think it's been my brand over the last few years to sort of stay late and have a good time, and I'm one for not really sticking to my 10-hour contract. I don't look at the clock and go up to my couple, oh, it's been 10 hours, it's time to go. Like, I really enjoy the live event, especially if there's a band or a DJ I know. And I think it's always so memorable for them when their videographer is on the dance floor with them, having a drink with them, doing a shot with them, staying late, going above, going the extra mile. I think is always memorable for them. Like, even when you have experiences in life where that person went out of their way to do that, you remember that, and that feels good, right? So I try to give my clients that experience.
All right. So give me an example of a challenging time you had and how you overcame it.
I think weather is always a challenge for me. There was a ceremony a few years back where the bride was just insistent that I don't care if it rains. I'm doing the ceremony outside, and sure enough, the dark clouds were rolling in, and it started pouring as she started walking down the aisle, and the guests just like took off, like for cover, hid under a tree. And in that moment, I'm like, I'm going to do my best to keep filming, but at some point I have to sort of, save my camera too. So I ran up to the front and hid under the altar and still tried to get the shot. But yeah, I'd say weather is always a big challenge, especially with wind, a lot of outdoor ceremonies, a lot of tent receptions. If it's super windy, it can muffle the microphone, and then I can't get drone footage. So I would say, yeah, weather is probably the biggest challenge when it comes to wedding filmmaking. But yeah, I've never had any challenges with people, really. So,
how do you stay updated with the latest trends?
Yeah, that's tricky. I mean, I would say I don't. I don't use TikTok, and that seems to be so trending right now. And I do my best to sort of, and this might be cliche, but I want my videos to be timeless. And I see a lot of trends now where there's a cool editing technique, but I feel like when you watch that in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, people are gonna be like, what was that kind of thing? Whereas my videos are pretty just straight cuts. I don't do a lot of fancy transitions, because I do want these videos to be enjoyed when couples are, on their 30th, 40th, 50th wedding anniversary. So I try to shoot them cinematically and make them look beautiful. But in terms of the trends, it seems like every week or every month there's something new, and it's hard to stay up with it all.
All right. Are there any questions that you think couples should be asking their videographer?
I mean, I think style, getting to know a videographer's style is huge, because there are so many different types of styles. There's videographers out there that do more posing, and I've even heard of videographers redoing the first look 3 times because they want to get a drone shot of the first look and specific angles. So if that's more your style, then I would I would head in that direction. But yeah, just learn who they are. Obviously, you know, their work will speak for itself, but just get to know who they are, because you're going to spend a lot of time with them on the day, and you want it to be a good experience with someone that you're working with. You don't want to feel like you're bugging them when you're emailing them. And that's what I've always said. We're in the wedding industry. People take a year, sometimes 2 years to plan this event. So I never get annoyed if I get silly questions, because again, it's likely the first time they've been doing this and they're spending a lot of money doing it. So yeah, just enjoy who you're working with, and I think the day will go smoothly, and then after the fact it will go smoothly.
Dave Tebbutt, well, thank you very much for joining us on Wedding Win. If you guys at home want to see Dave's profile, you can visit weddingwin.ca and you can check out all his work there.